Imagine this, a surfer, slicing through a wave at Steamer Lane, the kind of moment that feels like time stands still. But here's what's wild, right behind them, perched on a cliff, is a lighthouse that's seen over a century of storms, fires, and maybe even a few surfers who thought they'd conquer the ocean. Now, think about that for a second. This isn't just a lighthouse, it's a symbol of human stubbornness. They built their first one in 1870, a wooden tower that probably creaked like a haunted house in a windstorm. Then they replaced it in 1967, but even that structure isn't immune to time. And yet, here it is in 2026, still blinking its light, still trying to guide people who maybe don't even need guidance anymore. What does that say about us? That we keep building monuments to our own persistence, even when the world around us is changing faster than we can fix the plumbing in our houses. Now, let's zoom out to Watsonville, where middle schoolers are allegedly multiplying their math skills at some summer algebra academy. Wait, multiply their math skills? That's not a phrase you hear every day. It sounds like a math teacher's version of a superhero origin story. I was just a normal kid until I discovered algebra, and suddenly, I could multiply my potential. But here's the thing, when you're teaching algebra to kids in 2026, you're not just teaching equations. You're teaching them how to survive in a world where AI can solve problems faster than humans, where jobs are disappearing, and where the only thing that matters is adaptability. These kids aren't just learning x plus y equals z, they are learning how to think in a way that machines can't replicate. And that's terrifying and beautiful in equal measure. Because if they fail, it's not just a bad grade, it's a generation that's unprepared for the future. Then there's the CZU lightning complex survivor, someone who spent 6 years rebuilding their life after a fire that probably felt like the end of the world. And now, with help from a nonprofit, they are moving back home. This isn't just a story about resilience, it's a story about the fragility of the American dream. How many people out there are just one disaster away from losing everything? And what does it say about our society that we need nonprofits to step in where government systems have failed? It's not just about rebuilding homes, it's about rebuilding trust in institutions that seem increasingly indifferent to the people they are supposed to serve. Meanwhile, someone in Monterey County is accused of vandalizing flock cameras. Flock cameras, those are the ones that track wildlife, right? So you've got a person who's so disconnected from the natural world that they feel the need to destroy tools that help us understand it. Or maybe they're just a bored teenager with a grudge against technology. Either way, it's a reminder that even in 2026, there are still people who see the world as something to be conquered rather than something to coexist with. And that's not just a problem for the environment, it's a problem for the future of humanity itself. And finally, there's Life Lab Camp, where kids are cultivating a love of learning. Cultivating? That's such a deliberate word. It's not just about education, it's about planting seeds in minds, hoping they'll grow into something that can't be measured by test scores. But here's the thing, in a world where attention spans are shorter than ever, where TikTok algorithms decide what's valuable, how do you cultivate curiosity in a generation that's more interested in viral trends than deep thinking? Maybe the answer is in the soil itself, literally. If you're teaching kids to grow food, to care for the earth, maybe that's the kind of education that can't be outsourced to a screen. Maybe that's the kind of learning that sticks, even when everything else is fleeting. So, what does all this say about 2026? It says we're still trying to balance progress with preservation, innovation with tradition, individualism with community. And maybe that's the real story here, not the surfer, not the algebra students, not the survivor or the vandal, but the fact that we're still here, still trying to figure it out, still clinging to the idea that we can build something better, even when the odds are stacked against us. The question is, will we be the ones who light the next lighthouse, or the ones who let it burn down?